You know, I just realized that the chapter 1 title, like for the main quest, is looking for trouble. And I would like to say that Tess is not actively looking for trouble. It finds her. Okay, but I think I'm gonna hold off on the defective servitors because I remember that quest and I just want to make sure that I've got enough of everything points wise, because I was talking to a friend about it and they were mentioning that they don't necessarily have enough to get a particular outcome for it. I was like, oh, I don't even know what I have, like, as far as like iconoclast versus dogmatic and stuff like that. So let's go like one more place and like kind of up it, because allegedly you can take your time doing this like through chapter 1. I think some people had insinuated through chapter 2 even, but I would just say through chapter 1 safely, like before you finish it. So we'll probably go do like 1 or 2 more things and then do this. Now, I really would like to bring Pascal as well as Heinrich to get Cassia, because I've never seen that before a day in my life. So that means the rogue trader only has 1 place left to go. Ricard Minoris. We're gonna pick up my man, Pascal. Permission to report, Lord Captain. Members of a sacred cult operating Oh! Hi! Oh no! Already? Wait. I thought you didn't meet Kibellah until Act 2. Or chapter... Are we already? Oh. Why did I think it was... I always thought you didn't meet Kibellah till chapter 2. Oh. Yes. What sacred cult? Bloodspun Web. The cult defends the flagship from both internal and external threats. Lady Theod... Yes? Okay. Already? I'm here for it. I'm like so here for this now. So soon. Wife is home. I think, yes? Yeah. Oh, yo. I'm sorry. It does not get better than the Kibellah music. Now we get to see... Oh, I love Tess just standing there and just watching it happen. Now we get to see, though, this DLC as the God Emperor intended. Look at my daughter. Look at how perfect she is, okay? Those on deck watch in awe as the final figure moves gracefully into a ceremonial pose. Some of the officers whisper in excitement, while others murmur prayers to the God Emperor.
The undying Emperor commanded us to spin a web of blood around his children, and we obeyed. We obey still.
They fall silent as a tall young woman steps forward. She moves towards you soundlessly, the dim light casting shadows across the mask which conceals her face. The masked cultist repeats the words in a mournful whisper. We obey still.
Domin von Valancius, death has whispered your name. We disown Domin Theodora. We renounce our oath to her.
The woman's slender finger has been fitted with a metal claw. She points it in your direction and gazes at you from behind her bone mask with cold, grim eyes of an assassin. She pulls out a sinister curved blade. Similar weapons suddenly appear in the hands of her motionless companions.
And now we give the gift of our blood to you. It is the gift of death. Death has whispered your name. The followers of the tenets of the web swear fealty to their new overlord and offer proof of their devotion.
Their blade sings through the air and rivulets of crimson flow onto the deck. The young woman bows her head reverently as she hands you a heavy parcel. The others bow their heads as well. They seem unconcerned by the blood that trickles down their fingers.
We give you a blade, the silent verdict, The Undying One has chosen you to wield this instrument of death. We give you one of our own, Kibellah. She will be your shield and shadow. And we give you the blood of these traitors. The tenets of the web will purify their souls.
So Silent Verdict, that's a two-handed weapon. Interesting. I could give it to Abelard. You have heard many stories about death cults such as this one. These devoted, holy assassins of the Imperium have turned death into a form of worship of the Emperor. They are exemplary slayers, invisible executioners, and the scourge of traitors, heretics, and fallen souls. Many righteous people honor them as votaries of the faith, while others see their fearsome rituals as frenzied spectacles touched by madness. The cultists are all voidborn. Their lithe, sinewy bodies are clad in light armor, which allows them to move with an acrobat's nimble grace and strike with an assassin's swift surety. Their red and black vestments are adorned with sharp spikes and ritual jewelry. Where time and training have worn their garments threadbare, you can make out patterns of bleeding lacerations. The prisoners cower beneath the weight of your gaze. Blood drips down their tear-stained faces of the captured officers. Technomats and workers. A word has been carved into each of their foreheads with meticulous precision. Traitor, heretic, apostate, renegade. The cuts have been diligently and regularly reopened to prevent healing.
These renegades committed treachery against their domin. Their lips once praised the name of Kunrad Voitvir, but it is your name they will whisper as they cross over to the other side.
Interesting. So a death cult watches over my crew. They who honor the Emperor through killing, who devote their every deed to serving him, sacred executioners. Oh wait, crap, sorry.
The Domin has discerned our essence. This is a great honor for the Bloodspun Web. We have woven the bays of this ship together with the threads of our faith for many years. We keep the greatest relic, his tarot, through which he sends us his blessed revelations. We obey the whispers of the Undying One. This is our service to him. This is our service to you.
We'll continue.
How interesting. Devout assassins who believe themselves to be instruments of a higher power. They revel in violence and cannot tell the difference between bloodthirst and piety. They follow their faith blindly, unaware of how closely they tread to corruption and depravity. Look at them. They stand on the edge of a precipice. The smallest push will send them plummeting into the abyss. You could be their downfall. All you have to do is push.
We saw this on stream recently because I had a craving for the game before the Lex Imperialis, so we played a little, and then this happened. Oh my god, what? It's so scary. This is the entity that is kind of in the back of our head. Yeah, this is them. They're seducing us now because a ringing sound fills your ears, deafening the noise of the world around you. Time goes still. A voice whispers seductively in the back of your mind. What I find really, really interesting here, and we saw this in the original run for Tess, is that the Bloodspun Web is so close to corruption. They are so close to as they put corruption and depravity. Like, it would literally be one small push. It would not take much effort for them to go from what is a noble cause to heretical. Not at all. Like, it is so, you could see how easily you could force this. You could push this issue. So I found that to be super, like, this is super interesting. I know we saw this originally with Kibellah, but when it's voice acted, it's always a little, like, it hits a little different. What exactly does the cult do?
The tenets of the web teach us to read the threads of the future and understand the hearts of others. When a soul is filled with the poison of corruption, we know its time has come. We bring liberation. 3 strikes, 3 rebukes, 1 blade. This is how we serve the Undying One. This is how we serve you and your flagship. But there are others, the virtuous martyrs who contravene his design without realizing it. Those who have come too close to faltering or committing an apostasy, but have not erred yet. We present such souls to the Undying One.
You mentioned the tenets of the web?
Our laws and teachings, our philosophy and way of life, our art of combat and spiritual dogma. The tenets are the Bloodspun Web itself. Humanity owes its existence to the Undying Emperor's sacrifice. It is he who protects us from a darkness of terrors. Hence, each of us has a duty to serve him, and a duty to die for him. To act otherwise is to waste the life that has been given to us by the Undying One, to become a thief. We help others understand this. We help them to live and die righteously.
Instead of helping those who may soon stumble, you offer them death. I find it outrageous that such important members of my crew are dressed in rags. They are to be given food, wine, and new garments to me. Is that the noble? Is that the noble line? Tess, girl, they were on Voidveer's side. We're not doing that. Are you kidding me? We can't. No, so you kill innocents?
We do not desire their death. We do not seek them out in the darkness. They come to us, and we usher them from this life if his sacred tarot reveals that the Emperor wishes to accept these martyrs.
By the way, his Sacred Tarot is a deck of psychoactive cards bearing sacred and meaningful images. Tarot cards are used for divination and predicting the future. They're believed to capture images sent by the Emperor himself. In the hands of a skilled psyker, the Emperor's Tarot can be a truly potent divination tool. Very well, you have my blessing.
The Bloodspun Web will not forget your words, Domin. They are the wisdom of the tenets and the benediction of our duty.
Are you the leader?
I am the second spinner of the Bloodspun Web. The honor of this title is bestowed only upon those who have ushered more souls than... It is shameful to speak of one's own deeds. I'm here to become your shadow, not to make boasts.
I would love to hear you boast, though, Kibellah, because you deserve it more than anybody. Kibellah stops abruptly and touches a slender finger to the fresh wound on her hand, and paints the symbol of a lock across her lips in blood. Why have you brought this rabble to the upper deck?
So you may offer the souls of these traitors as a gift to him. You have the authority to order their execution. Their blood will bind us together through him. For the God Emperor, the Undying One is death itself. The Undying One is duty itself. Give the order, Domin. Let a spinner of the Bloodspun Web undergo the test of a sacred trial.
The others echo her words from beneath their bone masks. Undergo the test. Give weapons to the traitors. Let Kibellah prove herself.
A dagger that has not sliced through sinew is nothing more than a toy. Let the final dance begin.
I know I praised Kibellah's VA when we first saw this, like, forever ago. But I gotta tell you, every single time, like, it hits. Her VA nailed the role of Kibellah so much. Please, I can't.
Welcome
Also,
his embrace.
Also, if you've never seen Kibellah be Kibellah, you are
I
in
shall
for a
not
treat.
fail. Death is a blessing.
Okay. You are
As the
100%
tenets
in
demand.
for a treat.
My blade.
There's nothing like this
brings
class.
me no
and
pleasure.
I mean, it's definitely like Kibellah herself too. Like, but the class is just, this is so good. If Tess wasn't a sniper, I would have done this for her, but Tess has to be, like, that's just who she is. But on the other side, I always bring Kibellah with me because why wouldn't you bring your bodyguard kind of thing? So that works out.
I will set them free.
So here.
Death is a blessing.
Okay. Let's do this.
As honor orders come, the other side awaits.
Okay, and then am I gonna get to go here?
I shall not fail.
Okay. Let's do this. Now, well, what is that again? Oh, right. Can I do this here? Yeah, almost, sadly. What does this do again? Oh. I probably should have done that first, but that's all right. We're good. Okay. Yeah.
Killing brings me no pleasure.
I still have questions. Do you see how good that is though? It's so much fun. And her ultimate, it just never ends. It legitimately never ends. A cut to the heart, a cut to the throat, a cut to the stomach. These wounds have been inflicted according to his pleasure. The blood of the apostates will wash away the stain of their treachery, so that their souls may prostrate themselves before the Undying One's throne and beg his forgiveness. Kibellah wipes the blood from her blade in one swift movement. I have acted with reverence and shown proof of my loyalty. Will you accept me, Dom and Tessera? Will you make me your shield and shadow? Your ladyship. Yes, Minoris? The spinners of the Bloodspun Web are watching, tracking, and killing Von Valencia's enemies long before the warrant of trade passed to Lady Theodora. However, their blade has also been known to cut short the lives of upstanding persons. The factotum swallows nervously, casting a fleeting glance at Kibellah. But I certainly do not in any way condemn the deeds of the deeply esteemed cult. I am sure they must have had good reason. A stern-looking woman clears her throat. The cultists are scourge of the seditious. They bring the unrighteous to ruin. The enforcers respect the Bloodspun Web, for we share a common goal, to bring his light and his harsh justice to the darkest depths of this ship. Scourge of the seditious or not, folk are afraid of them for a reason. A couple watches ago, these spinners took a train driver to pieces for some kind of ritual. I don't know what old Malak did to earn that privilege, though. And who's gonna feed his family now? He takes a drag of his IO stick, and exhaling the thick smoke through his clenched teeth, but that's a lower decker problem. What matters is that the Bloodspun Web serves you faithfully, Lord Captain. A plump old man in the rich robes of a confessor adds respectfully, my predecessor's predecessor once delivered a sermon about how the spinners saved this vessel from the servants of the Archenemy. The Bloodspun Web paid the price in blood, a river of scarlet that flooded the decks from the bridge to bilge. They became the blood of the flagship, the pulse in its veins, and the beat of its heart. Their great sacrifice earned them favors of the House von Valencius. It seems that not all officers have been presented to me yet. Oh, I've never seen this line! Indeed, your ladyship. Yocasta Sarabak, at your service, I am entrusted with the honor of commanding the enforcers and keeping order aboard this vessel. It's my duty to punish trespassers, suppress disobedience, and repel any and all attacks on the ship. Confessor Adalbert, your ladyship, as a humble servant of the Emperor, I am entrusted with the high honor of being the ship's confessor, or, in other words, the highest spiritual authority on your vessel. I am here to oversee the purity of the crew's faith. I officiate the officers' chapel and look after the ship's reliquary. Confessor, tell me of their great sacrifice. The vessel was beset by famine and pestilence during a long warp jump. The flagship wandered uncharted paths in the Immaterium for 20 cycles straight. Servants of the Archenemy used the despairing hearts of the crew to infiltrate the ship, and death followed. The hungry became the hunted, the famished became a feast. And the exhausted crew was too weak and emaciated to resist the invaders, but then the spinners emerged from the depths. They stood alone against hundreds of foes, yet they did not falter. They did not sleep or rest as their blade-tipped dance brought death. Though many spinners fell, the Bloodspun Web held strong until the flagship left the turmoil of the warp. Retinue? I have heard, though only at a distance, the prayers the spinners offer up to him. I have seen how their deeds fill the people's heart with confidence in the inevitability of his wrath. The Bloodspun Web's loyalty to the Emperor is without question, as is their willingness to lay down their lives in a fight against the Archenemy. Although Lady Theodora never granted the cult an audience or brought a spinner into her retinue, she respected the Bloodspun Web and approved of its mission. You'll be my shadow, Kibellah. Kibella's movements are slow, almost rhythmic, as she removes her ceremonial mask. The dark shadows of her eyes accentuate the deathly pallor of her skin, which is covered in ritual scars. Henceforth, I am your shadow, Damen Tessera von Valencius, an instrument of death placed in your hand by the Undying One, for so it was ordained, and so his tarot forespoke. The young woman bows her head once more. I also come bearing an invitation from the Vizier of the Bloodspun Web. He wishes you to know that the doors to the Undying One's temple are open to you. Are you suggesting the Lord Captain should go down into the depths of her flagship to search for this temple? With all due respect, the lower decks are for servants and crew. They are not a fitting place for her ladyship. Forspoke? The greatest, most sacred relic of the Bloodspun Web, Emperor's Tarot. Only his chosen servants may earn the permission to drain blood upon the card and perform a reading to see the portents of the future. Shadows of the past or tangles of the present. However, the secrets of his tarot are not for the ears of lay people to hear. I cannot tell you more, not here and not now. Why is the Vizier not here to deliver the message himself? The first spinner is old. His abode is in the temple beneath the flagship's freight line, and he has not left the lower deck in decades. Even a short journey could sunder the spirit from his ancient body. Who is the Vizier? He is the first among us, the Vizier of the Bloodspun Web, of faith for fivefold longer than I have lived. Blood of the flagship's blood, my mentor and teacher. Where is the temple? I am not permitted to say. If you wish to find the temple, you must walk the path of Saint Irene, the matriarch spider. Hers was the thread that would become the Bloodspun Web. Her path began deep within the flagship in the dark tunnels of the freight line. That is where yours must begin as well. The journey will bring you closer to the thread of the web, closer to the Undying One, closer to understanding death. All right, I will walk the footsteps of your matriarch spider. Your journey will begin in the darkness of the deepest tunnel. The Vizier awaits you. The cultists retreat into the shadows as Kibellah sheathes her ceremonial dagger. Your blade awaits direction, Damen Tessera. We will speak again when the time is right. We have Kibellah. Okay, we're not gonna go do this just yet. I would like to pick up Pascal and Heinrich. Because I don't think we took them down yonder. So we're gonna do that now. Yeah, void ship map. But now Kibellah's on our bridge. Oops. Yeah. There's no quest or anything that she gives you right now, if I remember correctly. So what is it? What happens if I hit? Oh man, I'm so lazy and comfy right now that was just easier for me, and I'm so happy we can do that. But let's go to Ricard Minoris now and start with that, get Pascal, but we're gonna bring Kibellah because I want to see if she has anything. Okay. Lord Captain, sorry to disturb you. Victus pauses as if listening to something. It's pandemonium outside the bridge gate. One of the officers seems to be demanding an audience with you in person. I think I hear Master Wissarian's voice. In any case, I wanted to warn you in advance. This! Oh Lord, it's this quest. Already? So soon? We just picked up. I have things to do. It's fine. We're still cleaning up. As the chair turns with Tessera von Valencius. First one. Yes. The everyday sounds of the bridge are disturbed by voices raised in anger. Abelard's voice the loudest of all. This is not the conduct of an officer. These are the antics of a highborn brat out on a lark. Explain yourself. The young woman standing before Abelard strives with all her might not to quail under the onslaught of her superior's anger. She falters, but then manages to look him in the eye and say, I apologize, sir, but I must speak to the Lord Captain. Very well, Lieutenant. You may address the Lord Captain, not least because I see you've already seen fit to disturb her. Your unauthorized appearance on the bridge and display of belligerence towards a higher-ranking officer will be logged on your personal file without delay. Lord Captain, Lieutenant Vilra Vent requesting permission to speak on a matter of extreme importance and urgency. I'll listen. You may speak, but I want to hear a report, not a shouting match. Having two officers bickering in full view of the bridge is unacceptable. I will not tell Abelard. Assign the lieutenant an appropriate punishment. You have 1 minute to state. Yeah, I feel like we're going to go with this. I will not tolerate this kind of conduct on my ship. Abelard, assign the lieutenant an appropriate punishment. Yes, Lord Captain. Listen to my report and punish me as you wish, but all that matters is you hear me out. This matter cannot wait. Any minute now, an assault unit will be dispatched to the lower decks on orders to crush the worker strike by any means necessary. I am convinced that this step is unwarranted and that the crisis itself was provoked by the actions of one of the senior officers. Vent is almost trembling with tension as she delivers her speech, her face extremely pale. Abelard, in no hurry to intervene, lets out a skeptical huff. He glances at Sarback, who is standing not far from him. She maintains a stony expression. Oh, is she coming with us too? Lord Captain, I urge you to investigate the actions of Seneschal Wassarian and to intervene in what's happening on the lower decks, because very soon we will have a mutiny or a massacre on our hands. Vent reels off the last words as though she knows them by heart. She's clearly been preparing to say them for some time. When she's finished, she casts an anxious glance at Abelard. And then at you. There is an insurrection in the making aboard my ship. How did this all start? How did this all start? Situation could boil over at any minute, so I'll give you the condensed version. It began when the enforcers found a cultist amulet on the body of someone who'd been killed in a drunken brawl. We reported it up the chain immediately, arranged for a cleansing rite to be performed, and opened an investigation. No heretics have been found alive, but the search has brought tension between the enforcers and workers to a head. So where does my seneschal come into all of this? I shall explain, Abelard intones grimly. I beg you to hurry. Time is running out. I will not hurry. Since my competence is under scrutiny, I shall speak for as long as I see fit. There is an established order to the way things are done on this ship. One of the pillars of that system is that the rogue trader's attention is not distracted by trivial matters. It is the seneschal's role to ensure that. I have always handled internal problems myself. So, of course, when I received information about cultists hiding on the lower deck, I took the matters in hand. So long as I live, not one of the vermin who murdered Theodora von Valentius will find refuge on her ship. That's a really carefully crafted sentence. Not one vermin who murdered Theodora von Valentius will find refuge on her ship. Not this ship. Not the von Valentius flagship. Not our ship. Her ship. You see how careful, like that wording is so very deliberate and so very careful. You see right here and right now that Abelard does not see you as the rogue trader. Abelard does not see this as your ship. This is not yours. You're sitting in Auntie's seat. You are in control of Auntie's ship. She's not gone to him. I find that to be very interesting. You were far too heavy-handed, Seneschal Wassarian. Arrests, interrogations, mass punishment for an entire sector. It has driven people to the brink. Now there is a strike on the lower decks, in Depot 4 to be precise. 3 worker clans are involved, but many more are passively supporting them. The situation could degenerate into an all-out insurrection. But when I reported my concerns, the only response I received was an order to dispatch an assault unit and crush the strike with maximum force. Abelard, what do you have to say? I see no need to add anything. I acted within the remit of my authority, guided exclusively by the best interests of your protectorate and your personal safety. If you wish to confirm the rectitude of my actions yourself, I have no objections. For my part, I urge the Lord Captains go down to the lower decks, stop the assault unit, and speak directly to the people. You will see that they are not lying or harboring heretics. That way, you'll stop the uprising before it begins. So, on one hand, I think it's important to go downstairs for the sake of your relationship with Abelard. And as we saw, that actually does go well depending on like what you pick after. I think that's super important because he needs to understand that this is your ship. This is not Auntie's ship. This is not anybody else's ship but yours. You are the Lord Captain and you have to show that. However, also just telling her to go F off, it feels like it also works in that the officers need to understand their place. Just because you are a new Lord Captain and you're new to everything that is going on does not mean they have the right to come to the bridge and do this kind of thing. So it depends on what your rogue trader, I think, would find to be more important or to be more of a down the road, we need to have nipped this in the bud so it didn't snowball into something else kind of situation. For me personally, it will always be my relationship with Abelard. I always think that it needs a firm hand right now, so then that way going forward it is as healthy as possible given what we're dealing with. However, I think that the other kind of version of Tess that I had mentioned, where the Tess that doesn't want to be rogue trader, the Tess that fights being rogue trader, would just tell Abelard to handle it because she doesn't want to be rogue trader, right? So like I think that somebody that's either super dogmatic or something like that, I think that that would work really well too, because you have to trust that your seneschal has your best interest and the God Emperor's best interest at heart kind of thing. Or a Lord Captain, like I said, that doesn't want to be the Lord Captain. You just let your seneschal handle it. So what if he sees it as Auntie's ship? It is. Because at that point, Tess would in theory also still see it as Auntie's ship. But I've heard enough. I'll go down the lower decks to deal with it. I am certain the Seneschal was acting with his authority, but I will verify the soundness of his decision for myself. This matter is not worthy. So, like this one, leave the bridge, don't ever disturb me again. I've done that. That's it makes it very quick. But I am certain the Seneschal was acting with his authority, but I will verify the soundness of his decision. Jerome preserve you, Lord Captain. I thank you for your support. I could have done the other options. We've done them, I think, twice at this point in the Let's Play, because I think we did it in the beta. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I do think we did this beta, and then we did this before, so I didn't feel like I needed to go through all of it. So if I do skip some options, it's because, I mean, I don't think they pertain to Tess, and I think we did most of them, like, all the way through before anyways. Abelard grits his teeth slightly. An enterprise bordering on the sophomoric, but please yourself, Lord Captain. However, I categorically insist that I escort you. Lord Captain, I regret that the enforcers were unable to handle the situation, which led to which then led to your and the Seneschal's involvement. I consider it my duty to go to Depot 4 myself and see the expedition. All right, let's try this again, because words were failing me right there. I apologize that my grasp of English died for 2 seconds. Lord Captain, I regret that the enforcers were unable to handle the situation, which then led to your and the Seneschal's involvement. I consider it my duty to go to Depot 4 myself to see to the expedient resolution of this incident. Okay. Yeah, Kibellah. Kibellah can be here. God Emperor protects. I'm so happy we get Kibellah this early. This is literally my favorite. I'm so happy right now. All right. Right, Kibellah got to be leveled. Boys, let's level Kibellah. Oh, good. This. Do we get Dance of Blood? Allies deal. Blood cover. I think I want to play more with that, but yeah, just a flesh wound. Very important because she does do dumb things like get herself hurt. Let's go for agility first. Then, Veil of Blade Dancer faces this. Okay. Blade Dancer immediately returns to the side. This is a good ability, but it kept effing me over. It literally did. It literally, because I put it in the same spot as one of the other abilities I really like. It was so bad. Until the end of the combat, attacks made by the Blade Dancer against the enemies who've already attacked that ally gain a... Oh, interesting. Oh, that's a good one. Veil of Blades. Blade Dancer targets... No, so we're gonna do it because it's a good ability, but we're gonna find a way. Actually, let's do her athletics. We're gonna find a way to make sure it doesn't bite us in the butt like it always has. This is two-handed. She only has one weapon, though. Wait, they only gave me a Kibellah with a singular weapon? What in the God Emperor business? Here. Can you use that? Can he? Death Cultist weapon gains the following. Yeah. Okay. I just think that this is hilarious with Abelard. What is that? Where is my terrifying child?